Many of you may have yet to see the latest season of Stranger Things. The latest season is about the Hawkins gang discovering Vecna's true identity. Eleven has been reliving her memories to relearn how to use her abilities. Hello there, guys. Welcome back to our channel. Don't forget to drop a like before we move on. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to our channel. By clicking the bell symbol, you may also enable post notification. Let's get started without further ado. The last season ended with Eleven losing her powers, and after fighting with the Russians and the explosion, Hopper is nowhere to be seen. Season 4 of Stranger Things start with a flashback of experimenting on several children until all the children except Eleven are killed. Currently, Joyce, Eleven, Will, and Jonathan moved to California, where Eleven struggles in school because of bullying. Jonathan dealt with his distancing from Nancy by getting high with friend Argyle. Joyce receives a doll from Russia, from which she learns that Hopper is still alive. Back in Hawkins, Steve and Robin, upperclassmen, faced romantic dilemmas. Mike and Dustin have joined their high school's Hellfire Club, a Dungeons & Dragons club led by the Eddie Munson. When Luca's basketball championship game clashed with the climax of Hellfire Club Dungeon Master Eddie's Vecna campaign, a major split opened between Lucas and Mike and Dustin. Max, who is no longer with Lucas, struggles to cope with Billy's death. Chrissy, a cheerleading team member, is possessed and killed while she is with Eddie. Mike flies to California to visit Eleven, where he witnesses her being bullied by her classmate Angela. Max tells Dustin that she saw Eddie flee the night Chrissy died. Robin and Steve track down Eddie and explain the existence of the Upside Down to him. Eddie and Dustin have given the entity that killed Chrissy the name Vecna. Nancy and her fellow student reporter Fred look into Chrissy's death. Fred is lured into the woods and murdered by Vecna. In California, Joyce and Murray's call to Enzo. In reality, Russian prison guard Dmitri sent them scrambling for the ransom they were to deliver to Alaska to get Hopper unstuck. Eleven is arrested for assaulting Angela. The U.S. Army visits Sam Owens and he blames Eleven for Chrissy's death. Owens takes her, explaining that Hawkins is in grave danger and that he has been working on a program that may be able to restore Eleven's powers. Joyce and Murray go to Alaska to bring Hopper back. Nancy and Robin go to the library to research Victor Creel, who is responsible for killing his own family. Eddie's uncle provided this information. Max recalls Chrissy visiting the school counselor before being murdered by Vecna. She steals Chrissy and Fred's files from the counselor's office and discovers they had PTSD symptoms similar to hers. Max then hears Vecna calling her name and sees a grandfather clock. The basketball players were led on a wild goose chase by Lucas. As Joyce and Murray flew to Alaska, Enzo Dmitri informed Hopper that the prisoner could flee as soon as pilot Yuri received the ransom money. Jonathan, Mike, and will decide to find Eleven with the help of Jonathan's friend Argyle. Nancy and Robin interview Victor Creel. Max goes to the cemetery to read her letter to Billy by his gravestone, fearing Vecna is about to kill her. She is possessed by Vecna and finds herself in the Upside Down at his altar. Nancy and Robin teach Steve, Dustin, and Lucas that playing music can break Vecna's spell and play Max's favorite song. This creates a portal through which Max can escape Vecna's grasp. Hopper escaped, only to have Yuri sell him, Dmitri, Joyce, and Murray to the KGB. Owens transports Eleven to Nevada, where he and Dr. Brenner have created a specialized isolation tank known as Nina, allowing Eleven to access memories of her time at Hawkins' lab. Eleven is undergoing intensive memory therapy to regain her powers while the Hawkins children explore Victor Creel's rundown mansion. The boys in California travel to Utah, the location of the nearest computer they know, Susie's. Nancy pieced together Max's drawings of Vecna's lair back in Hawkins to reveal that she'd sketched the Creel house. Max, Lucas, Steve, and Dustin, together with Nancy and Robin, investigate the Creel house. Inside, they discover flickering lights, which they attribute to Vecna's movements in the Upside Down. Eleven reminisces about befriending a lab. She also remembers being responsible for the lab massacre. Susie assists Mike's group in locating the Nina Project's coordinates and joins them in their search. Murray's karate skills assisted him in knocking out Yuri, following which he and Joyce crash-landed the pilot's plane. while Joyce and Murray devised a plan to sneak into the prison by passing Murray off as Yuri and vice versa. Hopper went to great lengths to obtain vodka and a lighter to start a fire to fight the Demogorgon. Dustin notices his compass misbehaving and realizes there must be a new gate to the Upside Down nearby as Steve and the others find Eddie. The new gate is opened down in the lake. When Steve discovered the portal, he was dragged through it by tentacles and attacked by Demobats in the Upside Down. Steve, Nancy, Robin, and Eddie get trapped upside down. Joyce and Murray were able to keep Hopper from becoming Demogorgon Chow and return him to his woman's arms in Russia. Dustin, Lucas, and Erica hypothesize that Vecna has spawned a gate at each murder site, which they communicate to Steve's group in the Upside Down. Both parties reunite at Eddie's trailer's gate, where Chrissy died. While Vecna possesses Nancy, she discovers he is Victor Creel's son Henry. Robin and Eddie safely exit. 11 finally recalls Henry committing the lab massacre and attempting to kill her after she refused to assist his murderous ambition. 11 overpowered Henry and sent him to the Upside Down. The entire season has been packed with details, especially the 7th episode, which explains the story behind 11's flashbacks to a bloody massacre while also tying in the Creel family murder that occurred in Hawkins in 1959. The father of the family, Victor Creel, was suspected of murdering his wife, son, and daughter. Nancy and Robin visit Victor, who is now elderly, in the asylum and realize he did not murder his family. Vecna did. It turns out to be his son Henry massacring his family. Many of you may be wondering how one obtained his power. One honed his abilities at Creel House, murdering animals, controlling clocks, and torturing his own family before murdering his mother and sister. Victor Creel thought his son was another victim, but he had only gone into a coma due to the surge of powers he used to murder his own family. After his family was murdered, Dr. Brenner admitted Henry to psychiatric care and designated him as 001, the very first of the children to be experimented on. Dr. Brenner used a chip implanted beneath his skin when he grew up to keep his terrifying powers under control. One befriended 11 and convinced her to remove the chip. He reveals his psychic abilities and that he is one. One massacred everyone as retaliation for his treatment as the first test subject, including torture at Papa's command. 1 and 11 fought, and one ended up in the Upside Down, assuming the form of the creepy demonic creature known as Vecna but still sporting his 001 tattoos. The first portal to the Upside Down was opened in this manner. The Upside Down version of the Creel house is where Vecna lives. Vecna's ultimate goal is to open more gates and help the Mind Flayer take over the world. The scene in which Brenner asks 11, "What have you done?" which we first saw turned out to be a clever bit of misdirection. We thought 11 was to blame for the massacre, but she was the last one standing after defeating one in battle, sending him into the Upside Down and transforming him into Vecna. 11 needed to delve into a painful memory from her past to develop her powers and defeat 001 in a battle at Hawkins Labs. Her power returns as she recalls sending number 1 into the Upside Down. Vecna selects his victim by the strategy of psychically linking with teens who have experienced trauma in the past and torturing them with visions until he kills them. Vecna appears to be looking for guilt-ridden trauma survivors, such as Max, who witnessed Billy's death in front of her, and Nancy, who feels responsible for Bard's horrific upside-down pool death. Eddie and Robin climbed a rope back to Hawkins, but Nancy was caught by Vecna when she tried to leave the Upside Down. In the next video, we will be explaining what could happen in Volume 2. So don't forget to thumbs up the video and subscribe. And we'll see you again soon.